Hello, and welcome to another teaching from TorahFamily.org. We are a family-based ministry that believes the whole Bible stands forever, that all of it is based in the Torah, and all of it promotes the Torah. Please visit us at TorahFamily.org for more teachings like this one. We hope this teaching helps you learn and grow in the faith. As a mom who has the responsibility of teaching and schooling our children because we homeschool, I ran across a post that challenged me. The subject was concerning the Last Mitzvah, or instruction. This is what Yahweh said to Moses in Deuteronomy 31:19. Now write down this song and teach it to the Israelites and have them sing it, so that it may be a witness for me against them. What grabbed my attention were the words, teach it to the Israelites. What? I did not know it myself. Teach it? When the reference of this last mitzvah came up, I couldn't even recall what it was. Why did this not ring a bell? In looking for it, I scrolled down to the last few chapters in the book of Deuteronomy. I learned that it is referred to as the Song of Moses. This last instruction to Moses was for him to teach the Israelites this song. Verse 19 opens up with telling us why Yah wants his people to learn it. My first thought was, whoa! Here is Yahweh saying, a witness for me against them. This should be an alarm sounding the words, listen up, because this is important. So what is the Song of Moses about? I have to say that these 43 verses that contain it are really hard for me to follow. I wish we had the original sounds and pauses that would bring more clarity in who is speaking and when. Though it is a little difficult for me to follow, I can't help but be in awe thinking about it. These are the very words given to Moses to write down in song by Yahweh himself. I have never thought of Yah as being a songwriter. Yahweh gave us a song to specifically learn by heart. That is pretty exciting in itself. So, why haven't I learned it? Knowing that he has instructed for us to know it tells me this is pretty serious. What is he saying, and what do we need to heed to? He first warns us that this is a witness against us to him. Well, let's look at the song together and try and get a grasp as to what he wants us to learn. What is he wanting us to keep close to our hearts and minds? Though we will be reading it straight through, we encourage you to hit the pause button as needed. Deuteronomy 32, verse 1. Listen, you heavens, and I will speak. Hear, you earth, the words of my mouth. Let my teaching fall like rain, and my words descend like dew, like showers on new grass, like abundant rain on tender plants. I will proclaim the name of Yahweh. O praise the greatness of our God. He is the rock, his works are perfect, and all his ways are just. A faithful God who does no wrong, upright and just is he. They are corrupt and not his children. To their shame they are a warped and crooked generation. Is this the way you repay Yahweh, you foolish and unwise people? Is he not your Father, your Creator, who made you and formed you? Remember the days of old. Consider the generations long past. Ask your father, and he will tell you, your elders, and they will explain to you. When the Most High gave the nations their inheritance, when he divided all mankind, he set up boundaries for the peoples, according to the number of the sons of Israel. For Yahweh's portion is his people, Jacob his allotted inheritance. In a desert land he found him, in a barren and howling waste. He shielded him and cared for him. He guarded him as the apple of his eye. Like an eagle that stirs up its nest and hovers over its young, that spreads its wings to catch them and carries them aloft. Yahweh alone led him. No foreign god was with him. He made him ride on the heights of the land and fed him with the fruit of the fields. He nourished him with honey from the rock and with oil from the flinty crag, with curds and milk from herd and flock, and with fattened lambs and goats, with choice rams of Bashan and the finest kernels of wheat. You drank the foaming blood of the grape. Jeshurun grew fat and kicked. Filled with food, they became heavy and sleek. They abandoned the God who made them and rejected the rock, their Savior. They made him jealous with their foreign gods and angered him with their detestable idols. They sacrificed to false gods, which are not God, gods they had not known, gods that recently appeared, gods your ancestors did not fear. You deserted the rock who fathered you. You forgot the God who gave you birth. Yahweh saw this and rejected them, because he was angered by his sons and daughters. I will hide my face from them, he said, and see what their end will be. For they are a perverse generation, children who are unfaithful. They made me jealous by what is no God, and angered me with their worthless idols. I will make them envious by those who are not a people. I will make them angry by a nation that has no understanding. For a fire will be kindled by my wrath, one that burns down to the realm of the dead below. It will devour the earth and its harvests, and set afire the foundations of the mountains. I will heap calamities on them and spend my arrows against them. I will send wasting famine against them, consuming pestilence and deadly plague. I will send against them the fangs of wild beasts, the venom of vipers that glide in the dust. In the street the sword will make them childless. In their homes terror will reign. The young men and young women will perish, the infants and those with gray hair. I said I would scatter them and erase their name from human memory. But I dreaded the taunt of the enemy, lest the adversary misunderstand and say, our hand has triumphed. Yahweh has not done all this. They are a nation without sense. There is no discernment in them. If only they were wise and would understand this and discern what their end will be. How could one man chase 1,000, or two put 10,000 to flight, unless their rock had sold them, unless Yahweh had given them up? For their rock is not like our rock, as even our enemies concede. Their vine comes from the vine of Sodom and from the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are filled with poison and their clusters with bitterness. Their wine is the venom of serpents, the deadly poison of cobras. Have I not kept this in reserve and sealed it in my vaults? It is mine to avenge, and I will repay. In due time their foot will slip. Their day of disaster is near, and their doom rushes upon them. Yahweh will vindicate his people and relent concerning his servants when he sees their strength is gone and no one is left, slave or free. He will say, now where are their gods, the rock they took refuge in, the gods who ate the fat of their sacrifices and drank the wine of their drink offerings? Let them rise up to help you. Let them give you shelter. See now that I myself am He. There is no God besides me. I put to death and I bring to life. I have wounded and I will heal, and no one can deliver out of my hand. I lift my hand to heaven and solemnly swear, as surely as I live forever, when I sharpen my flashing sword and my hand grasps it in judgment, I will take vengeance on my adversaries and repay those who hate me. I will make my arrows drunk with blood while my sword devours flesh. the blood of the slain and the captives, the heads of the enemy's leaders. Rejoice, you nations, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants. He will take vengeance on his enemies and make atonement for his land and people. This song shows us the consequences, both positive and negative, of the choices we make in this life. It seems to sum up from the beginning of time to the end. We praise Yahweh and see his just and perfect ways. We understand that there is corruptness of those who are not his children. He has chosen, protected, and cared for the people he called his own. Yet, they still turn to false gods in devotion and for their needs. It is made known that Yahweh's wrath is for his enemies, and his deliverance is for his people. It is really interesting the timing of when this is given to Moses for the people. This is told to them right before Joshua is to lead them across the Jordan into the promised land. They are promised victory in their obedience. Interestingly, the Song of Moses is also mentioned in Revelation chapter 15, verse 3, along with the Song of the Lamb. It is sung after the victory over the beast, its image, and the number of its name. As being grafted into being Israel today, it is just as important for us to learn these words of the Song of Moses. These words remind us of the victory that awaits for us at the end, just as it was for them at the beginning of going into the promised land. This song is our new mission. As a family, we really want to understand and memorize it. I pray you make learning the Song of Moses a priority as well. Let's begin reflecting on the victory that is promised to us being Yahweh's children. We hope you've enjoyed this teaching. Now it's up to you to be a Berean and study it for yourself. That's the only way to grow. Until next time, Shalom.